You've heard the name before, Robin Hood. The man who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. A hero in green, master of the bow, enemy of corrupt kings. But here's the thing. Was Robin Hood real, or just a story? What if I told you that behind the legend lies a trail of forgotten records, rebel ballads, and real men who fought injustice centuries before Hollywood ever picked up a camera? Today, we're diving into the real story of Robin Hood, the outlaw who became a symbol of hope, and the truth behind the myth. Our story begins not in Sherwood Forest, but in Old English taverns. Hundreds of years ago, before books were common, people shared stories through songs and ballads. One of the oldest, A Jest of Robin Hood, dates back to the 1400s. These songs told of a man who lived in Sherwood Forest near Nottingham. He robbed corrupt officials, protected peasants, and stood up against the Sheriff of Nottingham. But unlike the polished movie hero we know today, the original Robin Hood was rougher. A rebel. A criminal, even. The earliest stories didn't mention Maid Marian or Friar Tuck. Those came later, added as the legend evolved over the centuries. But the core idea stayed the same, a man who fought against injustice when no one else could. To understand Robin Hood, we have to understand the world he came from. England in the Middle Ages was brutal. Power was everything, and most people had none. Peasants worked the land, paid heavy taxes, and could be punished for hunting deer in royal forests, the king's forests. Yes, back then, even hunting a deer could get you killed. The greenwood, the forest, became a place of refuge for those who broke the law. Bandits, soldiers, debtors, even freedom fighters. So, when ballads spoke of a man living in Sherwood Forest, hiding from the sheriff, and stealing from the rich, people listened. Because he wasn't just a thief. He was every man's revenge against injustice. So, was there really a Robin Hood? Historians have searched medieval records for centuries. And guess what? They found several men named Robert Hood or Robin Hood. One record from 1225 mentions a Robert Hode, fugitive, a man who had his property seized. Later, the name appears again and again, almost like a title for outlaws. By the 1300s, Robin Hood wasn't just a person. It was a symbol. Outlaws were literally nicknamed Robin Hoods. Maybe the legend came from one man. Or maybe, it was born from hundreds of forgotten rebels, whose courage echoed through the centuries. The most famous part of the legend, Robin Hood versus the Sheriff of Nottingham, might be the most symbolic of all. The sheriff wasn't just one man. He represented corrupt power, the authority that exploited the poor. In some tales, the sheriff is cruel and greedy. In others, he's clever, a worthy opponent. But in every version, Robin outsmarts him. And that's what people loved most. Robin Hood's victories weren't about gold or fame, they were about justice. Every arrow he shot was aimed at tyranny itself. No hero stands alone. And Robin Hood had his merry men. Little John, a giant with a gentle heart. Will Scarlet, fiery and fearless. Friar Tuck, a man of faith with a love for food and freedom. And Maid Marian, not a damsel in distress, but a warrior of her own spirit. Together, they were more than outlaws. They were a family. Each one had lost something to injustice, but found hope in the forest. Their camp in Sherwood became a symbol of equality, rich or poor, noble or peasant, everyone shared what they had. It was, in a way, a vision of the world people wished existed. Now, history gives us another clue. Many Robin Hood stories are set during the reigns of King Richard the Lionheart and Prince John. Richard, the hero king, was away fighting in the Crusades. His brother John, power-hungry and ruthless, ruled England in his absence. Taxes rose, corruption spread, and people suffered. Sound familiar? It was the perfect setting for a hero like Robin Hood, a man who stood up when kings failed their people. Whether or not Robin truly existed, his story grew from real pain, real injustice, and real hope. From the 1400s to today, Robin Hood never disappeared. In the 1600s, his tale became plays performed in village squares. In the 1800s, poets turned him into a romantic hero. And in the 1900s, Hollywood gave him a bow, a smile, and green tights. But behind every retelling, from Errol Flynn to modern blockbusters, the heart of the legend stays the same. Stand up for the powerless. Defy the corrupt. Give hope when hope is lost. That's why Robin Hood endures. Because we all wish there was someone like him, and, deep down, we all want to be him. So, was Robin Hood a real man? Maybe. Maybe not. But in a way, that's the wrong question. Because Robin Hood became real, in the hearts of millions. He's every act of kindness in a cruel world. Every voice that speaks when silence would be easier. Every person who dares to say, "This isn't right, and I'm going to fight for what is." And maybe that's what the legend was always meant to teach us. Because heroes don't just live in stories. Sometimes, they live in us.